get it.
Mbijan raganyadi.
Albaka.
Mbaka important.
Yo, nga transfer la sto.
Ya transfer la sto.
Ha, code nyinji.
Okay. Korsan. Nsila ID soto.
Ah, sa soto. Sorry. I get it.
Mbijan bro.
Albaka.
Mbaka.
Bara alla service o tariaka. Mbare ki janna nun kunu bara tariaka.
Jannom yona forest de bureau. Gambia tonkon na no mbari ya bere. Birim koyna fo katon.
Bari si kodo kino katon ni fo bolong blabe to.
56 branches mona sota Gambia jam.
Ha?
Gambia kono anin Gambia bantala bankol. Nko kodo kiya bere to. Kodo sifa fo falindiro fo nyaadi lafta même na kodi to poto nin kodi maraw. Jannam number 1 di nyonta. Andum fana nata anoda enterprise sotale. Wolam nyindi ko domorol fana kol fana be firale le dadi manin domorol ni fana beteat. Gambia dawda yalo ngam fa kendol sotale je.
Wo moy o diat ha.
Apelenta
baraka ni ma lafta nyelen kendol e bina.
Yalo bukani la ko la baraka ba.
Yalo ndel ciosano lo.
Abaraka.
Him that the last time he sent the money, it was not enough to buy all the provisions.
Oh, sorry, I forgot to tell him.
Are you guys talking about money transfer to buy provisions?
Yes.
But don't you know about Baluwo?
Baluwo? What is Baluwo?
Baluwo is a service that your son can use to send provisions directly to you guys from the shop. And you don't have to worry about the exchange rate.
Tell me how Baluwo works.
It's very simple.
Just log on to baluwo.com and shop, or download the app on your phone. You can shop on the website or using the app to buy online basic products for your family and friends. With Baluwo, you decide what your money is spent on. Your money, your choice. Buy online products for your family and friends in the Gambia, Senegal, Nigeria or Mali. Baluwo, better than sending money.
For the first time in the history of the Gambia, Gambia Printing Publishing Corporation proudly introduces the Biliomatic exercise book printing machine. The machine has the capacity to print more than 20,000 books per hour. Yes, 20,000 books per hour. It also prints magazines, newspapers, calendars, flyers, normal books and all kinds of printed documents plus items at affordable prices. With the Biliomatic printing machine, GPPC can now render high-quality and non-size restricted printing service supply across the sub-region. Rush now and partner with GPPC for all your public and private printing service needs. Print with us today and you'd be offered highly professional, reliable and efficient service delivery by our team of experts. The Gambia Printing and Publishing Corporation is here to meet all demands and is reliable at all times. For more info, contact us on 437-4493 or 437-4402. GPPC is Gambian and it's yours.
Gambia Social Registry Household Data Collection Exercise. The government of the Gambia, with support from World Bank, is developing a social registry as part of its move towards an integrated social protection system in the country. Gambia Social Registry will serve as a single entry point for the various social protection programs in the Gambia and will be hosted by the National Social Protection Secretariat at the Office of the Vice President. The social registry shall comprise households' demographic and socio-economic data. This information will guide future social protection program interventions in the Gambia and facilitate rapid identification of beneficiaries for programs. It will have the capability to be linked to other databases when these databases become automated. The enumeration teams from Gambia Bureau of Statistics, GBOS, will visit, interview and register every household in your community, so don't be left out. However, inclusion in the registry does not automatically qualify one for a particular social program. Social Registry has taken consideration of the key principles for personal data protection. Therefore, your data shall be confidential and protected. In view of this, we call on all and sundry to register their households with enumerators from GBOS. This message is brought to you by the Department of Information Services under the Ministry of Information.
to the Brunch on Kerr Fatou Live. I am Amat Cham. Now, this week, our focus is on the Gambia's final qualifying match for the 2023, which now, of course, will be held in 2024 African Cup of Nations in Ivory Coast. The Gambia is on the brink of securing successive qualifications to the tournament, but that is if we'll have to draw at least against Congo-Brazzaville tomorrow in Morocco, where the match is scheduled to take place. Of course, the background being that the Gambia's National Independence Stadium is among a list of stadiums not approved by CAF to host international matches. The Gambia Football Federation opted to host the match in Morocco. That is, of course, as part of a bilateral football agreement between the two nations. The national team is now in Marrakesh, and match is scheduled to be played tomorrow at 7 o'clock our time. However, in the last 24 hours or so, there have been news that there has been a catastrophic earthquake in Morocco at a place not far from the base of the team, Marrakesh. An earthquake on the magnitude of 6.8 is said to have already claimed 800 lives. But the Gambia Football Federation has put out a statement saying that the team is safe. Players and officials are all safe. And in the last 10 minutes or so, we heard also that the match is still on schedule as far as communications from CAF are not concerned. But we will go there, that is Marrakesh, for updates from the Gambia Football Federation authorities. Meanwhile, in the studio, I'm joined here by the president of the Sports Journalists Association, Musa Sise, the coach for the Gambia Under-23, former Gambian international, Abdou Jammeh. I miss Seri and Toure all the time. He's with us, and as well as Amat Cham, who is the head coach for First Division, BST Galazy. Gentlemen, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Amat.
Thank you very much,
Most,
and happy to be here.
Thank you.
All right. Of course, before we were hit by this sad news yesterday, our focus would have been we go straight into analyze what we have at stake. But first of all, what's your impression of what's happening before we go to Marrakesh, T-Boy?
First of all, just to pray for our thoughts and prayers are for the people of Morocco with this incident, what have happened there. So whatever the case, we just need to follow the news, what will happen now against tomorrow. Then before we analyze anything about the game, I think the first thing first is to know whether the game will take place or not. So those are the vital news, important things for us to know before saying anything about the game.
Musa, when you heard about the earthquake?
It was last night because it's unfortunate that most of my colleagues think that I'm in Morocco at the moment as the Secretary General for the African Sports Press. And of course, all inquiries about Gambia have been streamed to me, and of course, I'm here in Gambia. But my thoughts first, and that of the sports press and fraternity, goes to our Moroccan brothers and sisters out there who are very much in a serious grief because you don't lose that number of people in a moment, in a day. It's a huge loss for Morocco, and we have them in our thoughts and our prayers. And as soon as I leave here, I will be sending a communique, a solidarity communique from the AFS Secretariat, which is in Dakar, what I'm in Banjul here, to everyone in Africa, and to the Moroccan Federation on behalf of the African Sports Press. But more importantly, Cham, for us is that, as you mentioned just the last 10 minutes ago, the most authoritative person in Gambian football, that's the president, Lamin Kabab Bajo, told us that as we speak right now, the match is unsettled.
Okay.
And anything can happen. They're just waiting for communique as to if there is any changes because of what happened. Because we also understand that the Moroccan game is not going to take place anymore.
Good.
So let's see what happens from
now. We will have to go to Morocco, Amat, before we come to you, and I have with me the communications director at the Gambia Football Federation, Babukar Kamara, who happens to be with the team in Marrakesh. Babukar, first of all, let's start with a statement put out by the GFF assuring all Gambians that the team players and officials are all safe. But give us an update. What exactly is happening now?
Well, Lamin, thank you very much. I don't know whether you want to know what exactly happened or what is happening.
Well, what happened, we have got that. But then with the team now, tell us what is happening around the team. What is the information from CAF or from Morocco or anything concerning the fate of the match?
Well, the match is taking place. I can assure you that. We just had our lunch, and the head coach informed that as per the decision of the organizing committee, the match is going ahead. It's only the match of Morocco against Liberia that is scheduled for today that has been cancelled. And understandably so, I mean, this is a country that is grieving right now. We have more than 800 deaths. I mean, some parts of this city that we are in, Marrakech, is in ruins. Rubbles everywhere. In fact, rubbles are affecting rescue efforts to access the worst affected area. So you expect that death toll may even increase. But as our game, it is going on as per the information from CAF.
Now, the GFF statement said you could feel tremors, where you were. When did you start having a feeling in your hotel that something wrong must be happening?
So, I mean, this was 7 minutes past 11 p.m. here. That is 7 minutes past 10 p.m. in Gambia yesterday night. So, I mean, we were together, myself, the president, the second vice president, and some colleagues, the team manager. We were together in the goalkeeper trainer's room having attire. So after that, we retired to our own rooms to go and have some sleep. So I was there in my room. This is exactly 7 minutes past 11. I mean, I'm sorry, but I have to describe it this way. I was only on my boxer, and then I had a loud bang, and then everywhere was shaking. I mean, seeing a house shaking as if trees shake under a heavy rain. So I had to put on a torn cloth even for that matter. I was not even with my shoes. So I opened the door to find out what is happening. Then I saw people shouting everywhere, down, down, down. Then it occurred to me that this is definitely an earthquake. We are lucky in the sense that where we are in Marrakesh here, the buildings are very, very, very solid buildings. I understand these buildings are purposely built deliberately to ensure that they will be able to survive things like this. But in the old part of the city, which is a UNESCO heritage site, and that had buildings that are many years ago, they've been razed to the ground now. There are rubbles everywhere. The city is devastated, definitely, and it is in ruins. So this is what happened. So we spent the whole night outside yesterday. We couldn't sleep in our hotel, even though the building did not come down. But there are cracks visible everywhere in the building. So they advised that we do not go inside the room yesterday. So and the head coach acted with great leadership by ensuring that all the players and later the officials also had at least somewhere to lay their heads outside by bringing out mattresses. And to have some sleep. So now what happened is that because we are in the second floor of this two-story building, now what we've arranged is that the players and the officials will go to the first floor now. All the players now are sorted. It's left with the officials. At least when you are in the first floor, we don't expect an aftershock, because as per expert views, an aftershock is very slim. But also, you have to be cautious to watch your back. If, God forbid, there is another shock, then it's easier to try to exit than when you are on the second floor. But I must tell you that I have never had such a feeling before in my entire life. This is the most powerful thing that I've ever experienced. That is why you are seeing in the international media ruins everywhere. It's a very, 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 strong earthquake that struck this city. Not actually this city. Just 72 hours from the epicenter. The epicenter is around the one village in the Atlas mountain, but the closest place to it is Marrakesh. But its impact has been felt all the way in Agadir, in Casablanca, and even further 350 miles away in the capital in Rabat and northern Spain as well. And there are also some other reports that its impact has also been felt around Mauritania. So that goes to show you how powerful this earthquake was.
Well, sorry for that traumatic experience, but given the fact that you had to sleep, or let's say the team had to sleep outside yesterday, and even now you are camped underneath and with anxiety of, God forbid, possible aftershock, that would really create a lot of anxiety in the mood of a team that's supposed to play a crucial match tomorrow. Is this showing in any way?
Well, I don't think so. Of course, yes. There is a little bit of apprehension. Is understandably so, but I think even as of yesterday night, the majority of the players were prepared that they want to play this match, because while we were here worried as to where to sleep, the players were asking us to contact the referees to ensure that they are safe. So obviously, they are prepared to play this game, and you could see the spirit in them that they are ready. But we are also in the same situation like Congo. They are here, we are playing against them. So it's the mental toughness, and I think the boys are mentally prepared. Even though it's not going to be the same. Like if a situation like this never occurred before, you cannot pretend that nothing happened. Obviously, something happened, but. I guess we will all have to forget that and be mentally tough to go and complete the game tomorrow, because there are rules and regulations governing the competition, and there is a body that is responsible for the organization of this game, and they do not see the need to cancel this game. It's not only the only game that is also going to be played here. Even Gabon is playing here today because. Gabon and Mauritania are playing here. Gabon is hosting Mauritania here because of the coup and the instability in that country. This game also came here. Yesterday it was Burkina Faso who also played here. So in Marrakesh here alone, our 4 matches are taking place here in this particular window. But I think it's understandable that this country is in mourning. It was a wise decision to call off the game between the Atlas Lions and Liberia. I don't know. It could have been better also.
That is
to call up our own game.
Exactly.
But that's the reality.
Yeah.
Because it is a matter of life and death. Football should take the back seat as far as I'm concerned.
Good.
But this is the decision of CAF. We have no choice but to oblige. We are obliged to play, so we have to comply. But I wish they had called off this game, definitely, even if it would mean that we play in October, because there is another FIFA window where there is no competitive match scheduled for either teams in October. So this game should have definitely been called off to be played in October. But they decided that the match is going on, so we do not have a choice.
That is the anxiety. There are still people thinking that there's still a possibility. Well, I don't know whether that will be the ideal situation. That it might be called off, given the fact that Morocco is in a state of mourning, and then having 2 or 3 international football matches definitely may not conform with the country's mood. But since you said there have been no communication from CAF, so as far as the Gambia and Congo is concerned, the match is on schedule for tomorrow, isn't it?
The match is on schedule, yes. It is on schedule. Unless something dramatic happens, we do not expect the match to be called off. There is nothing official, but as to the communications, to the information we got from some of our contacts in CAF, this game and all the other games are definitely going on. Even the Congo, the Morocco game, still now there is no official confirmation from CAF, because they are discussing it at the level of the executive committee. Our president is a member of the CAF executive committee, so informed us moments ago that the matter has been tabled there for the exco to take a decision to confirm the suspension of the Morocco versus Liberia game. So, but I think Lamin would have been very, very, very good if Cap had gone on this game because, like I said, all the players now are given rooms in the first floor. But what I'm seeing here is that some of the players are still,
in trauma.
Lying on the around the poolside here when they should be in their room to be sleeping. They barely had enough sleep last night. Myself, I barely slept 2 hours. I don't think there was anyone here who slept 3 hours last night.
Yeah.
So
Traumatic.
I'm not afraid to say this. Even myself, I'm scared to go and sleep in my room because you don't know what is going to happen next.
Yeah, don't let the Barabunkas hear that. But anyway,
I've never seen anything like that.
I know. All right. We are hoping to get to Lamin Kaba Bajo, the president. If you can facilitate for us to have an update from his level, like you said, he's a member of CAF and president of the Football Federation. Might be very nice to hear from, very valuable to hear from him firsthand. If you can arrange that later. But for now, we will leave you and do some things in the studio. We might link up with you though. And please get us Kaba prepared as we might reach him in the next 5-10 minutes or so.
Okay, I'll brief him on the matter and then I'll get back to you, Lamin.
Thank you. Well, there he goes, the communications director of the Gambia football. Amat, I was coming to you, but now that we heard from him, it looks like the team actually, the part that really I took away to be very distressing is the fact that they could not have a normal sleep, which is understandable. They had to sleep outside, and even now, they are supposed to sleep on the first floor, but somewhere around the poolside. Apparently not very comfortable going to that building again.
I think there is an amount of distraction in the team. The team is no more as it was before the earthquake, which is a natural factor. It is beyond the control of everybody who was there. And as he said, I think even the Gambia Football Federation should take the next step of requesting for the match to be postponed. If all he said about the players sitting outside when they should be in their rooms to resting or even having a nap, I think it's important that the Football Federation communicate with CAF to see what is possible about the game. Hence, but as he said, there is a possibility that something can happen before the end of the day. We hope that it is not an aftershock, but we hope that CAF can sit and at least look at the next window, which is in October, very close, to say, for this game, let's make sure that we don't play it now and postpone it till October so that we play it. Because if players are having shock, it is going to be very difficult for them to perform. How will they train today? Because today's training was going to be very, very, very important for this game. Because
they even plan a pre-match press conference. All that, of course.
And you have to do this training because most of the time, most coaches will work on the finishing touches of their tactics today because they are playing the game tomorrow. So it's important for the coach to know whether the game is going ahead before training time or the game is not going ahead. It's not going ahead. It's very, very important.
The good thing, Cham, about what Amat has to say is that the coach seems that he has his mind set up on the game that is going to go ahead because there is no communique that suggests otherwise, which is fine. The distraction is there, the shock is there. Of course, psychologically it depends on how strong are these two teams. Who is stronger mentally of them, because they're all in the same boat. We're talking about our own team right now. Yes, we should concentrate on because this is ours. But you don't play yourself, you play an opponent. An opponent who is in the same vicinity like you, who is experiencing the same thing, who has gone through the same thing. Sleepless nights is one thing, but the distress in your head, in your mind about what could have gone wrong, is more traumatizing for me than just, oh, I'm tired, I couldn't sleep. But to be tired in your head is more difficult than physically. Can you imagine what that means? But we are of the view, or I'm of the view that the manner in which I hear some of the officials talking to them, they are okay. Whether it's the Gambian okays or is it the real being okay? And to have the also match put aside, we have to look at all the factors.
That have implications.
There are huge implications, and I hope we will come up to that later. But those are, featured later.
What is the state of mind of coaches, during this kind of situation? From what you heard from Morocco?
Yeah, from what I heard, I would believe like every coach, you build your playing philosophy and the coaching philosophy. In this part of the season, the coaching philosophy matters most because it comes with psychology. Because as first 90%, I know Tom right now will be only focusing on the game, nothing else. Okay. Because as coaches also, you build something around your team. That's your philosophy, not the playing style or not whatever, but the coaching philosophy. You can see that in the team because since it took over the team, you can see the cohesion in the team, the discipline and the mental side of it players every time they are playing. And the same scenario happens one time, maybe in, let's say during the COVID period. Yeah. But anytime you see this team playing, you can see that something is behind their success. So that's the coaching part. And I think Tom is doing a good job on that. That's the psycho part, supporting the players. And what the players need now is more of the psychosocial support. You talk with them, try to put them in a good state of mind to prepare before tomorrow. Because like you said, the both team are in the same scenario. So you don't need to take any excuses on whatever happens because we need to qualify. That's the objective now. So we don't need to think about the game will be played or no. We just focus that tomorrow is the game. We go and finish the job. That's what all I think Tom is going to do right now.
Ideally,
Cham, before that, if at all the match was supposed to be played in 2 or 3 days' time, other countries would have sent psychologists to stay with the team, with the players right now, and just trying to boost them, to try to keep them stable, to stabilize. But unfortunately, that doesn't apply to us. Sports psychologists are important in this kind of situations, but you never foresee them coming. But there's nothing wrong in identifying one and attaching them to the team, because normally big games like this, you might have some weak links in your team and you need to psych them up to really prop them up to take up some of these games. It's very important. Yeah,
I can come up to that because I think as coaches now, most of the coaches, we are taught about this psychosocial support. So for sure, Tom is a big coach. He might know those details. So modern football, you don't need a psych. I hear people saying that, okay, you need it, but in coaching now at the highest level, as coaches, we are trained to.
We've got the signal that the president of the GFF is ready to contact him.
Okay.
Musa, you okay?
Get him?
We get his number.
Let's get him quickly.
Quickly. What is his number again?
Don't worry.
Or you take it from that end.
We'll get him.
Good. Get him from that. Well, so what do you think of the fact that there may be word from CAF to cancel the match? Do you think there is any strong possibility that happens?
Go ahead.
I don't know, because we have to really look at what befalls. How to call it? We have the president of the Gambia Football Federation online. Kaba, good day. Welcome to the program here. I know we spoke a little bit briefly on what we are expecting. But what's your state of mind? In what sort of state of mind are you, particularly as the president of the Gambia Football Federation? Everyone out there is right now under your purview. What can you tell us about everyone?
Loudspeaker.
About you. With you right now.
Yeah, starting from me, really, I have a very strong spirit. I know these are things that nobody will expect, but when they happen, also we have to be able to manage our emotions and our feelings. It's devastating, though. Many people have never experienced the slightest of a tremor, and this was a bit powerful, even though there are no major damages to our hotel or its environs, no injuries, but the trauma really has been too much. But the boys also, like myself, they put up brave faces, and immediately it passed. We all assembled in the hotel pool area as directed by the hotel security. There where we spent the night, and then life, I would not say life continues normally, but alhamdulillah, we kept faith and know that there's something that happened and it's going to pass. So far, so good. Really, it's not the best of ideal environment, but we make the best of what is available, what has happened.
Okay. Right. I don't know whether you can. Yeah. I don't know whether you'll be able to hear me in the background, Mr. President. Amat Cham here. Now, what is the word from CAF since you are also a member of CAF, as to the fate of this match, already we know Morocco, Liberia is off. Is there any possibility or any likelihood that this match may be called off as well?
No, as far as it stands, the match is on, unless we receive a message contrary to that. The only one that's been discussed at the level of the ESCO is the issue of the Liberia-Morocco, as you rightly said. But all other matches are still on, and we are also preparing ourselves according to our schedules.
Has there been any sort of, what I want to call, have you seen anything visible that might have been adversely affecting the team's preparation from any member of the team, the boys, the coaches, as we speak?
No, as I said, except the trauma that accompanied the tremor when it happened. In addition to that, also because the last night was not usual in terms of one's convenience of not sleeping on your bed, hotel bed at your time, and sleeping maybe in the open space.
The inconvenience. The inconvenience.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, maybe people wouldn't have had
a good sleep.
Sleep. Ordinarily, they would have slept overnight for the night. No, those things are all part of human psychology. But other than that, as I said, the boys really commend them for their composure, and then really, and they were playing their cards, they are on their phones, doing their prayers, and all those things. Definitely, there was no visible panic that really would have distracted them. So I think that's the most important thing. Is that it has been an inconvenient night, though, because of the sleeping in open air, and then maybe those are things that we have got. We just had our lunch, and then they are back to their rooms, and they're getting ready for the next which is the free up for
tomorrow.
This evening, yes, exactly. Yeah.
What has been the news surrounding our opponents? Anything adversely that might be of interest to our camp or to the Gambian camp?
Not to my knowledge, I don't think. Since they are also in their corner there, we didn't actually have any information from their side. Far as I know, I don't I think from my colleagues about them. Yeah.
Mr. President, God forbid, in the event this match is put off, we understand that might come with implications. The next FIFA window is in October. As far as your experience is concerned, if this match is God forbid, called off, what do you think the implications will be for example, closer to home for the Gambia?
Maybe the implication would also have to be, we have to start the preparations again all over. I think that's the most important thing with all its attendant consequences. But other than that, but we'll also take it in good faith that the circumstances that would have warranted, and that would have been the force majeure, depending on the CAF rules and competition rules and regulations. Definitely.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. President. For now, we hope before the end of the program, if you have any update, we will be very much grateful.
Our thoughts and prayers are with all of you and everyone out there at the moment. Kindly extend that to everyone out there with you. We hope everything goes well, so that at least Gambia can start smiling again.
Okay, thank you also for giving us this opportunity, so that the people back home can hear and across the globe can hear us. We are really, alhamdulillah, things are okay, things are getting back to normal. The hotel is also climbing a few debris. We have some cracks on the walls, a few of the rooms have ceilings cracked and some fell down. But you can see, and the hotel never stopped its operations. That's the situation as it is now. We'll give you best of developments as they unfold, inshallah. And looking forward, preparing, and then the boys are renewing their spirit for the match tomorrow, inshallah.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Thank you.
Welcome.
Well, Kababa, they are president of the Gambia Football Federation. T-Boy, well, let me start with Amat. Now that it looks like, well, so far, I mean, the match is on course. Yes, we have said the circumstances have changed. I mean, the mood that the team arrived there and now is changed. But you coaches would always say the coach will still focus on the match, no matter what happened. But let's go now to the statistics. We need only a draw, a point, and that has to be a draw, or we win against Congo to go to our successful appearance in the Africa Cup of Nations. On the other hand, Congo must win. So understandably, they might be a little hungrier than us, and they are coached by somebody who knows our country very well in Pol Pot. What does that mean for you?
Yeah, I'll start from where you finished. Yes, Pol Pot did coach the Gambia national team, but the players he had and the players that we have now are totally a different set, which is going to be, probably he will not know a lot about these players that are going to play this game. That is one thing to our advantage. And I know he have been using a lot of psychology to talking about the game will not be played in the Gambia, it will be played in Morocco, all to destabilize the team. But I see the Gambia national team play stronger and play better when they play away from the Gambia. And for me, I have no fear that the boys are going to do the job if the match goes ahead. And as the president have just stated, the match is going ahead unless something else happens. But for now, as a coach, the focus is on the preparation, the final touches, as Coach Abdou said, with the principles of the coach, the philosophy, how he wants his team to play. And generally, all Gambians know that one of his principles is to keep it tight, make sure that he does not concede. At any time he wants to attack, he's in a position to attack because he has the weapons. So it is a game for Gambia that we don't have to go and start from the kickoff and try to attack and score 2-3 goals. We have to manage the game, make sure that we don't concede the first goal and we don't concede the last goal. That is...
You know, our coach is, well, I would say notorious for being very much defensive mind, even at the best of times. One would have expected, like you said, he's going to come with an even more glorified defensive tactic to ensure that, like you said, even if we don't score, we don't concede. But then, you know, it's often said that the best way to keep or to defend a position, a goal, or to ensure a draw line perhaps will be go on the offensive and look for a goal, because that will make your job even easier.
Yeah, but when you start a game, you start the game based on your principles as a coach. You don't just go because we need to do this, we just go and use other principles that we did not train, that we did not use at our training ground. So you start based on your principles. Now, as the game goes on, it is stated in coaching that the game is the teacher for the players and for the coach. If it starts, then you can see that this team is not attacking us, and if we attack, we're in a position to get something. It's a mindset. Now, he have his mindset. Yes, Gambians may not like how he play, but he have been very successful for Gambian football. So the fact is, yes, you might disagree with his philosophy, you might disagree with his principles, but his principles have brought joy to Gambia. So we have to support those principles to take us to the next level. Yes, then from time to time, because I know anytime he want to attack, when we played Mali, anytime he want to attack, he will attack. And when he attacks, we're in a position to get the desired results. So it's important, yes, he have the weapons, but there is a way that he plays his football. And it's going to be very difficult for somebody to just wake up and say, Tom, change your mindset and play in a different form.
Let's expand this by looking at the resources available at him. You know, we don't know what his first team will be, but we seem to have a good attacking choice in Minte, Barrow, Sise, and Brian McCauley and others in there. How do you think his 11 tomorrow will look like? It will be difficult, but...
Yeah, it will be difficult, but if you look at the personalities and you look at the history, how the team have been playing, one thing you will know is the team will not be very offensive. That is, they will not open up. Even if you have the characters of offensive players, they will have that mindset that, look, we have to work extra hard off the ball. So that mindset is already in the team. And the team also have these powers that when they want to attack, they can easily attack because we have a lot of skill. You talk about Ibrahim Okoli, you talk about Abdoulaye Sanyang, you talk about the young Minte, Aliou Fadera. All these players are players who play on the sides, who play on the flank. You have Musa Barrow, probably just coming back from injury. Abdou Jammeh did fantastic, well during his game, but yes, he came with some injuries, a little injury. So, but the way I'm looking at it is, I believe we might play with not two defensive midfield players, but with a very defensive midfield player who stays with the defense, who sits up in front of the defense, and probably with another midfield player who can do the tackles, but is a good passer of the ball. Then you have a dribbler in front of them. And most of the time when he plays like that, you have Abdou Jammeh, who plays the role of the one who takes the ball, because he's very skillful. He can run at defenders, he can take on defenders, and he can make the killer passes. With Musa Barrow probably on one of the wings, and as we see for the past years, Hassan is his number 9, and he have been doing very well. Maybe lately he have not been scoring goals for the national team, but he have been doing the job for the coach. So for me, I think we'll play with a defensive midfield player who will sit, who we have Ibu Adams who can do it. You have Alassane Mane. All these players can sit in front of that defense, because Alassane is more of a passer than a fighter. Ibu Adams can play as a centre back, and that gives him an edge over some of the midfield players, because he has the defensive mindset and he has the offensive mindset as a midfield player.
Cham, I just want to say this thing. I mean, the coach is a very meticulous coach in his preparation, in his team talks. When you sit with him and of course look at how he prepares his team, and of course the analysis that he would always give you, the only problem is that when it comes to coaching and some of these matches, personnel changes. And when the personnel changes, and then,
for example, Mare,
Saul Mare would have been the best ones to sit
ideally,
because we can talk about the probable team in here. I mean, in the position of Saul Mare, you will have Ibu Adams, who is made out for such games. Ibu is like this fighter. He's a disruptive guy, and you would want to have him have his best game on a game like tomorrow, because he will.
That is if the Congolese really came with an attacking. But
no,
danger,
if it doesn't matter, because he will be there to do the job, because I don't see Omar Colley and James Gomez changing roles. They will be there. They are rock solid. James is one fantastic defender. You cannot. Probable, if we talk about the probable, we have Ibu Toure on the left. Noah is out there. So this is probably the first back line. And if you look at Ibu Adams and what he's been doing lately, he might be like for like replacement for Solmar. The problem is that you have Hamza Bari, who is on top of his game. Jamano is right up there. Alassane Mane is there. These are delightful players to have in the midfield. It's just about their strength. But Jamano can withstand and play anywhere with anybody, because he has the mind. He has the skills. He has the temperament to play big games. If you look at our match against Cameroon in the quarterfinals, Jamano's missing might have cost us, because he was just one player who could have made that huge difference, because he's not scared to play anybody. But this game also, we require something. Up front, these are probable midfielders, but who could it be? You have Aliou Fadera coming in. You have Yankuba Minte, who's a delight to watch. Obviously. You have Yankuba Minte, who is a delight to play. Ibu Colley is also out there. This Jam, Mendy, Khan, these are new debutants coming into the team. Would they be given and tested on a day like tomorrow? If they are up to it, I don't see no reason why. But the coach is somebody who is a traditionalist. He wants to go by the people he knew, trusted, and who he believes can do him the job. So as Amat was talking about, we all are comfortable with what we know. And the coach knows some of his players, and he knows their temperament and knows what they can deliver. So on a day like tomorrow, there will be no surprises for me.
Well, former Gambia international captain was a defender himself. So
personally, I wouldn't delve much about the probable team or what they think, or what force I think now, what the coach is thinking now. He have a job to do, that is to pick, select the best team he think they are ready for the game. And in this scenario, something happened before, like we are all talking about. So what his role now is to see who will come first, and how. So he have to think about this, who are ready for this game. So then he will analyze this before the game tomorrow. maybe I can think maybe Umar is better player today. Maybe coach will feel he's not at the good state of mind tomorrow.
Yeah, let me not interrupt because that will all depend on today's training.
Yeah, so he will analyze. He have to analyze every situation and see. But what is more important, as coaches, we prepare team what we think is the best team for the day. So the most important thing here for this game is for the players themselves. You know. Yeah, because there are a lot of talent in that team. So the self-confidence is more needed in the game tomorrow, because each player in that team have a potential to give. They have the experience, they have everything. So, but they have to be at their best on the very day to give a good game. And also they have to accept, because in this scenario we know we cannot dominate the game 90 minutes. We have to give respect to the opponent. Whatever they are coming in, then we deal with what scenario we face. The last thing will be maybe they lead themselves in the game, because they have to accept things might happen. So whatever they are doing, they have to make sure that they do it in the best way. So we have, let's say for instance, that we avoid a lot of mistakes in the team. So we just need to focus 90 minutes, because this kind of games can decide either in few minutes or either at the end of the game.
Yeah. That was our going. I mean, everybody seem to be taken away. Oh, we need only later.
No, you need more focus.
People seem to disregard.
I will give more responsibility to the players now, because the coach will prepare whatever he needs. Because at the end of the day, he will not enter. He will not fit in the field. So the players are going to the job, and the players have we cannot say that they all have talent. They have something to offer tomorrow. So, but what is important now is the 90 minutes. They need a total focus there to give their best. And I'm sure they can deliver, they can give the best results out of the game, whatever. They just need to qualify. That's the most important thing. It doesn't matter.
What do we know about Congo?
I mean, if I may, Cham, Congo are just like a wounded lion. They are desperate. Paul must have put himself in a very tight corner because he would go out there probably thinking that I know this team, I know this country because I was their coach. Hey, he was coach of a certain national team. This is a complete new set of national team. He never worked with any of these players. These players, he was fortunate to have some good players under his wings. But this crop of players are different. Completely, and I want to believe that he needs to show some little bit of respect, as he wants to earn our respect equally, as much as he wants his job. We want to get him out of a job, and this is the most difficult thing, because if we can send him packing, we will send him packing mercilessly, and that is what this game is about. There are no there is no niceness about it, and at the end of the day, if we can dump him out, we'll dump him very well. But what's important to note is that the moment Tom started talking about Gambia, this is what he would tell his employers. Of course, I know them, and I'll do the game. I'll do the job. We are saying that no, this job is beyond you, and this is what our fans will be. This is the language our fans will be talking about. But going by what is on the table for the records, head to head, we can afford them to. We can allow them to beat us. But with 6 and 9 points, everybody in his rightful mind would suggest that the Gambia would be able to pull this one off, and that is generally what any follower of the game, any pundit or any critic would suggest, that I think the Gambia, with what's happening with their team right now, I think they will be able to pull this one and make history by returning to the AFCON.
Amat?
Yeah, for me, I think the table changed when we were in our second game against Mali, when Omar Colley scored.
Yes.
That game brought back Gambia to the rightful place where they have qualification in our own hands. And after beating Mali, we were in a position to play South Sudan and defeated them 3-2, even though it was a very difficult game because we scored and they equalized again. And in the last minute, Hamza scored the winning goal, and that was it. And that is why we are still where we are. Yes, it is going to be a very difficult game because it's a game that everybody have something to play for. Yes, we need different results to go to Ivory Coast. The Gambia would need a point to qualify. Congo have to win the game to qualify. So there are two different results that these teams are looking for. So it's not possible for the game to be an easy game. And I think it is going to be a lot of tactic. It is going to be a tactical game. But as Coach T-Boy said, the players have to be responsible of the results. That is, they have to go there and make sure that they give the results. Yes, the coach will prepare his team. This is how I want to play. But the coach stands on the touchline. The players go into the field. Now, when they go into the field, they have to give their hearts out, 100%. And if they give their hearts out, as they did in the past, for me, I see the team going to Ivory Coast.
Well, now I think there's 6 places left, and that yesterday, not long ago, Angola and Ghana, Tanzania.
For me, tactical, I know in modern football, I think even me sitting here, I know every information about Congo team. Likewise, Tom expert of supportive staff around him, so for sure they did their job. So the most important thing for this game, like I just said, this group of players Tom is leading. 2 things is showing in their game, every game, that's the determination, the will to fight, and the confidence also. If you look most of the time, what time they score the game, their goals are always late, sometimes it's coming. So if you have a team that is more disciplined, they're up to fight as a team together. So you can get anything out of any game. So because I think for me, this game can be, they need to focus on 3 things. The attacking, both even attacking or transition and defense, the 3 parts have to be perfect. Either way, either defending, transition, attacking, the 3 direction have to be okay, and off the ball as well. Like I said, the mental part is the most important thing. They know that the players know that they need to qualify. For them, they have to be prepared for every minute of the game, from the first whistle to the last. There's nothing exceptional about Congo team. Like I said, it's just like a game of a normal game. So we needed the game more than them because we have only one point to qualify. So I think they are more under pressure than us. So we just need to know how to manage the game. Like the coach, that's the role of the coach, how to manage the game during the process. Which players are the right players at the right moment, and everything have to be calculated during the game.
I think well, doesn't concern us much now. Mali ended on a very, very, very impressive note by beating South Sudan, is it?
Yeah.
4-0.
4-0, yes. But we are the only one who dented.
And these kind of games, those coming from the bench decide most of these kind of games. So everybody, all the 23 players are important in this game. So either you are starting or you are on the bench. You might be the winner, so you can be the game changer. So everybody have to be ready for the game.
The other important thing, Cham, for us about this game is that we have to look at the bunch of players who didn't make the AFCON like last time, and they're invited. The motivation on the Gambian side should be very,
the fact
very,
that we have
high.
appeared once would be a motivation.
Yeah. So now, I mean, of course, these boys knew what it takes. Some of them. And of course, those joining the team right now, want to really also have that experience.
Exactly.
So the onus is on them, as coach says. It is about the players. The coach has done his bit, and then he would definitely want to see that they play by his guidance and instructions. And the game, he will be managed from the sides. But of course, the leaders in the pitch would also have to be, seen as leaders. Omar Koli, the Musa Barros, would definitely have to, stand up and be counted.
Right, gentlemen, we'll go back to Morocco for an update, this time on the other side of the city, Marrakech, because we also have veteran broadcaster, football commentator Malik Jones, who is there to bring us radio commentary tomorrow. Malik is on the other side of the city in Marrakech and certainly must have been taking stock of a devastating earthquake. First, Malik, welcome live on the Brunch. Let me begin by knowing your personal experience last night.
Well, thank you, Amat Cham, for having me on your program. It was just another devastating effect. Actually, we went out to look for headphones with a microphone attached to it, and there was this shop that sells this kind of stuff. And whilst we were leaving, we crossed one side of the road to the other where our van driver was parked, because we hired a van to just do our shopping and move around. We were just from the stadium watching the Eswatini match, and no sooner that I got into the van, and Papa was already in the van. Manga was about to step in. There was a black Jeep at our back. And all of a sudden, I thought that this van was a police van, and it wanted to tow our van. It was a black Jeep. I thought it was a police vehicle, and that it wanted to tow our vehicle because probably we were not parked in the right way. Not knowing that this was the tremor being felt. Actually, it kind of lifted our van, and we were all panicked, and seeing people rushing from the store we were, and the adjacent buildings around, everybody was running helter-skelter, and I just didn't want us to stay any minute in that area. So I was shocked, terrified, that I even spoke to the driver in Wolof. Hey, Nengina Fijarani. Can you imagine? And as we drove away from that area, we saw more and more people out, in huge crowds standing outside on the streets. And when we reached our hotel, the CR7 Pestana Hotel, everybody was outside the hotel. It was like everybody was ordered to stay outside the hotel. And the nearby restaurants that we went to, there was no service, and we wanted to eat something before we would go to bed. We actually found one Mexican restaurant where we had some food, and then went back to our hotel. We were told not to access our rooms, and we have to wait until 3:30 a.m. when we got into our hotels, into our hotel rooms. Some people actually did not even go to their rooms. They stayed outside the whole night long because there was the notion that there could be an aftershock, which usually follows some earthquake. So it was traumatic, absolutely traumatic for us.
We spoke to the team in the other side of the city, Marrakesh. They told us that they could not sleep in their house. They had to sleep outside, and even like you said, there's anxiety and apprehension there might be an aftershock. How did you spend the rest of the night yesterday and today?
Well, we are also in Marrakesh, by the way. Like I said, we were just from the stadium watching another African Cup of Nations qualifier. I think it was Uganda, Burkina Faso. Was it Eswatini? Yes, Eswatini. Yes, that was yesterday. Because we watched the games starting from the previous match. We watched yesterday's match, the day before yesterday's match. So, we are in Marrakesh, and we actually felt the tremor. Even our hotel this morning when we went for breakfast, we saw some cracks, on the hotel walls, in the restaurant. So, as a matter of fact, it is absolutely devastating for us.
Did you hear?
Go on.
Did you hear any news about the probability of the remaining matches? Because Morocco, of course, is hosting a lot of matches, of countries whose stadiums are either not approved or who has problems in their country, and Morocco is hosting them. Do you have any news, a probability about any more cancellation of matches?
What happened? I was here in February in Morocco, and I was here at the courtesy of the Moroccan FA, and this is my second time in Marrakesh. So a few hours ago, I called some of my contacts in the Moroccan FA, and they told me that they have requested CAF to cancel their game today. So Morocco's match against Liberia will not take place. And consequently, I firmly believe that if Morocco don't play today, we may as well not play our match tomorrow. Because this is a period of grief and trauma in this country, right from the very top of government. The king himself has responded to this earthquake by deploying significant human and logistical resources to assist the affected communities. And this includes air, land, sea assets, specialized search and rescue teams, a field of medical, surgical hospital. Everything is being put to place. This morning, or as we speak right now, Marrakesh is very quiet. It is a thriving, prosperous, throbbing city. It's got a lot of energy. It's an energetic city. I call it the Rose City because all the buildings are rosy, red, painting. You either call it the Rose City or the Red City. It is a quiet day today in Marrakesh.
So, well, from your sources, how far is the casualties? We had 800. Have there been any updates?
800 and rising. 800 and rising.
Well, Malik Jones, we pray that you and your delegation, Lamin Manga and Papa Yusuf Njai from Unique Solutions and Jabot, we thank them first for that package you have there. But then, like you here, we are increasingly getting pessimistic about the possibility of the match. Although, according to the Gambia Football Federation officials, the word is that it will go ahead until perhaps and unless they hear otherwise. But yes, everybody think there can be changes of this, of this match. There can be changes in.
Yes, I cannot ascertain anything right now because that has got to come to CAF. But what I'm saying is that, humanitarian wise, you cannot see a country in mourning and then you want to go and say, it doesn't work out well. But anyway, I'm not the decider. Yeah. I'm just here to do my piece of work. Okay. But I am grieved. I am in trauma, and I grieve for the people who have lost their lives.
Malik, thank you very much for now.
Pleasure.
Well, Malik Jones was on the side of the city, Marrakesh. I think what significantly, he still believes firmly that our match may be called up, even though there's no word of such. But generally, it's just the same story. There is a possibility that CAF or Moroccan officials might decide the fate of our matches. But his experience too is traumatic, isn't it?
Yeah, I want to believe that anyone who has experienced something like this in your life, of course, we Gambians, unless we travel, we live in a zone that is not in any way near to some of these, these belts. Or
I think the closest earthquake was in Guinea in 1984.
Yeah, so touch wood, if you happen to be out of this, this world, and something like this befalls you, you have the shock of your life because you think it's the end of the world. But let's just keep our hearts, our thoughts, and everyone right now in that part of our world, and hopefully it will be the end. And let the government and people come together to really see this through, because it's a tough moment for everyone. Very, very tough. We only see and read about people's experience of earthquakes. I have no idea what it felt.
Absolutely. The sad thing when I heard is what comes to my mind is the Ghanaian player.
In Turkey,
the Turkey one was
that
terrible.
Was massive. You cannot just imagine. But we don't want to be traumatic ourselves, because the more we want to delve into this thing, the more we'll be soaked in.
Yeah.
And we want to be optimistic. That's the view, in the sense that we want to psych our boys. Be strong. Just make sure that you go with the flow. Be motivated. Be nationalistic. Know that there is a huge thing at stake for everyone involved. The people back home who you might not be even hearing or seeing, they're all craving, suggesting, praying, wanting you to do it for all of us. And I think that should be our call, that should be our concern right now. What has happened has happened. It's spilled milk. But as the commentators mentioned, the authorities would have to converge and look at what's best in these situations. We can only wish. No individual amongst our delegation or on the other side can suggest that this is what it is. There are authorities responsible for these things. They have to do the call, and whatever their calls are, we comply.
I've been combing the CAF website and their media outlets.
Nothing
they haven't said yet. We're still on air. Let's go ahead.
Nothing yet.
Finally, of course, I wanted to bring in the World Cup qualifiers that we're going to have in November. Now we know the schedule. We're going to play 10 matches, that is. 5, supposedly home, 5 away. But the fact that we don't have our stadium approved
yet.
Thank you. And the proceedings for the World Cup starts in November. It's highly unlikely that we will begin at home in November. But look at the opponents all the way down: Seychelles, Kenya, is it Ivory Coast?
Yeah.
And Kenya, such as Ivory Coast, Burundi, are all in there. 10 matches, and only the leader of the group, of course, the top finisher will be going to the World Cup.
True.
The last time our president Kababa was talking about after appearing in the Cup of Nations for the first time, our ambition now is the 2026 World Cup. Do you think he was dreaming too far ahead, or do we really have any realistic chance to come out of this group?
Personally, that's why I want the boys to qualify
for the Cup of Nations
tomorrow, for the Cup of Nations first.
There will be additional motivation.
Yeah, because it's going to be a step in towards right direction, because there are a lot of pool of good players out there, and it's been maybe ages now. Tom has been approaching some of players. They are still doubting. So probably qualifying to the AFCON can serve as a motivation for those players to at least make up their mind. But I believe if we can get all the best players out there who are interested to play for Gambia, we can challenge any team, any country in this in Africa, because you can see the development is going too quick now. We have a lot of good pool of players, and that's not only limited, but they are playing also at the high. They are competing. That's the most vital thing. So it's AFCON first, then we think about the World Cup qualifying. There are possibilities out there.
I want to believe it's just a simple natural progression. You know, it's just natural that after playing the AFCON and then doing extremely well, surprising yourself and even those, your various opponents, you know, you want to see yourself to the next level. I'm not going to the World Cup to win it, but being if the records going by the AFCON by Cameroon 2021 is anything to go by, we should be one of the best teams in Africa by our finishing. Yeah, but there are lots of factors that we also have to look at. You look at the kind of players we had in the past who never managed to make it to the AFCONs. You know, quite a wonderful players who all missed out. They were individuals, but not a team. And now we're talking about a team. And we want to believe that some of those great players, T-Boys, Areas, the Jatos, and all those things, they were AFCON materials.
Yeah, of course.
As individuals. But as a team, we are an African material. This is the topic that we want to see. But now that we are, say, talking about the group of players who are AFCON materials, can they be on the global stage? We want to believe that yes, possibly with the little push, organization, and of course investments, management, and administration, we should be able to see ourselves in America, Mexico, or Canada in 2026. Yes, we want to believe that Ivory Coast are the favorites in our group, but anyone could be. I want to build Burundi. I want to think. Because I want to give everyone their respect.
Sure,
you know, you just want to come and run over anybody. No, you don't do that in this game anymore. Everybody is trying to really move up, raise their game, and be counted. So, and we are amongst one of those. So why shouldn't we believe ourselves and prepare ourselves that, you know what? And I want to. If I was the sports minister today, I have to say, give myself a target. I must give myself an objective. I want to see the team to the World Cup.
Well,
why not?
Okay. Well, the football federation says Amat Cham.
This is our target.
Kenya,
after Ivory Coast. You know what, guys? Next should be. You've
seen the program, isn't it? Straight up to 2025.
Yeah, I'll just take
long journey.
I'll just take it from where Musa left it. I think here the Ministry of Youth and Sport and the Gambia government have a very, very important role to play because. Yes, we have issues of financing the team for these qualifiers, these AFCON qualifiers. Now, if the same issues continue when it comes to the World Cup, where we are going to move to cover longer distances, more travels for the team to play.
Double your budget.
10 flights, 10 foreign trips. In fact, if the stadium is already it should be in Morocco.
No, not 10. How many outings would you have to do for your training? I mean,
that's what I'm saying.
Count them in the 15s and 20s.
So this is the point now. The Minister of Youth and Sports have to sit with the Gambia Football Federation to make sure that they are in a position to fit the bill. If they don't have it, they should. Now it's the right time to start looking for the funds for this team to get to the World Cup. There is a possibility. If you don't invest, it's going to be very difficult for you to reap what you want. So we have to invest in the team. We have to invest in the sports. We have to invest, particularly we are talking about football. There should be a lot of investment. And if there is a lot of investment, because if you look at the scenarios that is happening, you talk about 21 million and there is a lot of brouhaha about it. Now, if you want to play in Kenya and play your return like in Gambia the same week, probably you have to charter a flight. So it's going to be more expensive. So the government, through the Ministry of Youth and Sports, have to sit with the National Football Federation to make sure that they strategize. But it's the responsibility of government to foot the national team. Everybody knows that, yes, from time to time, the Football Federation will have to do certain things. But it is not the responsibility of the Football Federation. So for me, government is very, very key in making the Gambia go to the next level. We can look at our neighbors.
Yeah.
They are not talking about right now they selected 2 different teams to play 2 different games at the same time. One is playing in Senegal, one is playing in Rwanda. So, and these are 2 different teams, 2 set of coaches, different set of coaches, and they are not talking about money.
We have the same objectives.
They want to go to the World Cup. They are already in the AFCON.
I think if it is like our generation, the government can say, you guys are not delivering anything. We don't need to support. But it's a different story now.
Because they want to deliver.
I just want to say it's a different story now, because if you look at the U20, when came back with success, the national team also was doing good. So why not support the federation on the assignment? So because it's the funding is something else. That's the preparation level, because they need to support also if we have to be challenged, because you talk about 2 games in 1 week.
In 1 week, yeah.
So
the World Cup qualifies.
I am of the view that there should be more collaboration, more cohesive collaboration between the federation and the ministry, government, to make it, because the things we are talking about are doable. They are doable. And why are they being done? Because we need to crack our heads, we need to come together. And that's the only way we can progress. But it's not about anyone being in one corner trying to be defensive.
Yeah, the government always argue that they have a lot of other things in their hands.
Of course, that's a fact.
A lot of other things in their hands.
Yes, I mean, even if you take some of these things to Parliament, they will say, no, that's not a priority, that's not a priority.
Exactly.
But hey,
the finance minister will say, well, look, if I have to give 100 million to football, and the hospital, people are crying and dying in hospital because of lack of medicine, what would I do? So the government has a lot of things in their hands, but I think what should be done is what is done elsewhere. That is, there has to be very many diversified ways of raising funds, and not necessarily from the government coffers all the time.
Absolutely
we should encourage, sponsorship things and
there should be
fundraising in other manners, because obviously government can sit back and say, look, you know what, we have last year we spent about nearly 100 million for you to get qualified for football alone. We've spent 100 million in the stadium. It's still not, it's still not approved. We have a lot of responsibilities.
But that's the responsibility of government.
Yeah, but I know, but government can always say we have done our best.
So they have to go out.
So for football alone, just to satisfy CAF and football's, fans here, they must have spent over 300 million now since the last 2 years.
That's a fact, Sham.
So the government can always say, look, we have been supporting, we have spent a lot of money.
Justifiably, so government cannot be faulted along those lines, because the thing is, there's a cake, there's a national cake in
football alone. From our campaign in the Nations Cup, come to the stadium, and the only money we are pumping to the stadium just for us to meet CAF criteria.
And that's just a single sport. For example,
that's why athletics and others are crying. That government is neglecting athletics. Gina Bass and others have gone up to Olympic semi-finals, and that's great. But look at the money that's been given to football. If you give only a quarter of it,
because it's team sports, that's the problem.
But the thing is, if you give 25 million to the federation, athletics federation now, Jenna would stay in America, for her practicals until Paris Olympic Games in 2024. But now she cannot. She has to stay in Dakar. There. So if you give only 25 million to the GA, they would have excelled. Now you give 300 million to football, I mean, well, okay, we went to the Cup of Nations, but
for the first time.
For the first time, yes, that's
Yeah,
good.
but that is what it takes. Investments. That's what investment does. If you invest, what we're talking about, Cham, is moving on. If we want to talk about what was, then we are not going anywhere. Moving on, there should be an innovative way of dealing with these things, and I'm saying that it is possible and is doable. It's just the collaboration.
Yeah.
And we have to have the men and women, I mean, who are willing and ready, and of course, know whatever this takes. I mean, to make it happen. It's a win-win situation, but yes, government has the responsibility to make sure that these funds are available. Government it's not an endless. I mean, the cake is not the coffer is not that big.
They don't have a bottomless.
They don't have it. They don't have a bottomless pit, something like that. So we have to make sure that and we have to also understand them, because we are also affected in other areas. We don't want to talk the hospitals and it affects us all.
Yeah.
But the same as the sportsmen and women. But what we are talking about in here, put that aside. Yep. Even if you factor that in the sense that, we have to have, this thing has to go to the health sector, this has to go to the educational sector, the sports, agriculture, you name it. But we are looking for returns.
Yeah.
Look at the investment possibilities and all these things. What can this thing bring us?
Why can't money be raised for sports?
It should be raised
elsewhere,
other
than government.
It should be raised.
Where's our problem? In Senegal, companies and institutions queue, private institutions, they queue to be associated with sports events. In the Gambia, it's not there. Is it that the economy is too small? There's no money, or what?
It should be happening.
If you ask the business people, they say government is taxing us a lot, so we cannot sponsor sport when we have been taxed heavily.
I know
That's
that
another argument.
I know that I have a series of conversations with top government officials about this thing, and the view is that what we're talking about is possible. We just have to be brave enough to embrace it. But we also have to make sure that we engage those businesses that we believe are in the position to be able to do this. And that's what it takes.
So you
even
give them
in the
tax
countries,
holidays.
in tax holidays, or in the form of rebates, in the form waivers here and there. There's something we can work out, because it's not going to affect our. I mean, yes, some of them would argue. I'm not an economist, but someone would say no, it will affect the government revenue. But no, it's not going to affect it. It's not going to affect it, and these are strongly, worded things that I believe we need to sit over it and discuss it and see how best we move on.
Yes, thank you very much, gentlemen. Well, back, of course, to the business. The Gambia plays Congo. Definitely, we are hopefully tomorrow at 7 p.m. our time, and that is the final match in our qualifying campaign for 2024 Ivory Coast Cup of Nations. The word is that the match is still on course, even though there are doubts, or maybe there are pessimism. There's a lot of pessimism that it might be called up, but we don't get there yet. So our match is on course for tomorrow in Morocco, where there have been an earthquake which killed over 800 people so far. We pray for everybody in Morocco to be safe, as well as we pray, of course, for a very smooth recovery and rescue operations in that country. T-Boy, our national team coach for under 23, Musa Sise of the Sports Journalists Association, and Amat Cham of BST Galazy. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for being on the brunch. We look out for tomorrow's match, inshallah. Until then, goodbye for now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We live in a day and age where technology is creating a world without borders, filled with unlimited potential to improve the lives of the people around us. Innovarex Global Health ushers in a new way of leveling the playing field with increased access to quality healthcare services delivered at your doorstep. Our qualified professionals are equipped with state-of-the-art point-of-care testing technology to conduct tests such as kidney function, liver function, electrolyte tests, body composition, hemoglobin, A1C, and many more services with the highest efficiency in delivering results. The addition to our flagship Wellness on Wheels, more fondly known as WOW Delivery Service, brings the entire clinical experience full circle. IGH has remained committed to creating the future of healthcare delivery. Gone are the days of sending loved ones outside the country for basic medical services. Innovarex Global Health offers a new peace of mind and takes pride in delivering the quality of care we all deserve.
Islamic microfinance is becoming an increasingly popular mechanism for poverty alleviation, especially for developing countries around the world. This microfinance service adheres to the principles of Islam as a form of social responsibility. Yona Islamic Microfinance is the Islamic microfinance of choice in the Gambia, trustworthy and reliable. At Yona Islamic Microfinance, we provide savings products, current accounts, financing products in conformity with Islam. In addition, Yona Islamic Microfinance also offers local and international remittances, takaful fund, management of zakat, management of awqaf, trading and investment, and building of strategic partnerships to bring financial services to the doorstep of the poor with donor projects, madrasas, youth organizations, women groups, and farmer organizations. Make a choice with Yona Islamic Microfinance today. For more information on Yona Islamic Microfinance, call 377-2151 or 9832-151 or visit Yona head office at Tipa Garage, Bakote, or visit any Yona branch located countrywide near you.